we know that Mora is going to be moving to Europe pretty soon. I mean, he's probably one of the best talents that Mexico's had in years, decades, however you want to put it. Where do you guys think he should be moving to Europe? Should he be going to one of the top giants that he's been rumored to be linked with, like the Real Madrids, the Cities, the Arsenals, the Dortmund? Should he be going to like an Eredivisie side? I'm hearing rumors about the MLS. What do you guys think?
No, I think the most I'm gonna say the most obvious move I would say is La Liga. Somewhere in La Liga. I don't know about Real Madrid specifically. I know I've heard the reports, I've heard the rumors. I just don't know if that would really help his growth as a player. You know what I mean? Because like he can be an Endrick and just sit on the bench the entire season and nothing happen to the poor man. You know, and be this amazing talent and then sit on the bench. Don't even get me started about fucking Arsenal. You know what I mean? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Then, but no, I think La Liga would be a very good move for him personally. I think maybe not one of the big ones, but definitely like a decent, maybe like a Real Betis, maybe.
I love you for saying that.
A little Real Betis, maybe.
You want him to go the Diego Line Ezra, is what you're saying?
No, whoa, I did not. Well, maybe a different outcome, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't work out the first time with the Mexican player, but it's third time's the charm, you know what I mean? Because you had Andres Rodaldo, Diego Lainez, and then now you'd have Gilberto Mora. So, I mean, there's a chance, and I can see it happening there, you know what I mean?
I love you for saying that.
I believe.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Joaquin, if you had to pick anywhere to go, where would he go?
I'm going to go a little unorthodox. I think he should stay. I don't know for how long, maybe a year, maybe two, but doing some little bit of research, I saw, Edson Alvarez, Chicharito Lozano, all left at 22 from their respective clubs in Liga MX, so they had some extra time. Granted, they were playing a lot older than Mora was at his age. Yeah, I think he should stay. I don't think like Real Madrid, Barcelona is a good move right now.
So we know for sure, by the way, that Mora can't leave till he's 18. He can't leave North America, which is why MLS all of a sudden became a rumor the other day. I was seeing reports from people that Inter Miami are in the conversation, in the mix to consider getting him. And that would be, like the year before he can leave. I think that's dumb. Imagine Mora went to MLS to play for Inter Miami, probably the most talked about Mexican wonderkid in years, and he plays at Inter Miami. That'd be a shame. You guys don't think a top 5 league would be too much of a jump right now, at least on dress? Is the Liga too much?
I mean, the U20 World Cup, we talked a lot about it over the course of the channel, affecting the first team for the national team. But honestly, he's probably one of the best players in the tournament at this moment in time. I mean, he got 3 goals, 2 assists. He just got an assist today against Chile. So I think, honestly, the way he's put in this squad, obviously, I know it's the U20s, but he's been given a free roaming role. He goes on he's supposed to be in the midfield, right behind the striker, but he's been everywhere and he's been creating chances and gets the ball a lot. And I think this is only going to increase his stock. That's why I'm saying, in due time, especially, we the Gold Cup, I think, we already had this rumors coming from Real Madrid about he was going to go to Real Madrid. And then now with this performance, I think, kind of cementing himself as one of those rising stars, wonder kids, as you will. But I think, as one of those rising stars, I think he's going to be able to, just because of the stock that he has. He's coming in hot at the moment.
But you don't think, like, with the talent Real Madrid has, with Guler, Macentuano, like, all those young attacking talents, I feel like kind of
too much. Too much competition.
But obviously. But I think it's not, like, the big... I wouldn't want him to go to the big clubs, just because I just don't think it would benefit him. I think, like I said earlier, like Real Betis or a Villarreal, maybe, or a Valencia type situation, Sevilla type situation. I think he could really benefit from being at these... still great clubs competing in Europe to an extent, you know what I mean? And I think he could benefit from that. I'm not expecting him to be, all right, he's going to go to La Liga and then hit the ground running and be like the best player in La Liga. That'd be unrealistic. But I think he needs the opportunity to develop and prove himself. But I don't think it's going to be at the Real Madrid, no matter how amazing that would be to go from, 16 years old, well, 18 by the time, but 18-year-old kid from Liga MX. Now you're going to be, Real Madrid, that would probably be a crazy situation to be a part of. But I think it's just unrealistic for him, unfortunately, unless something crazy happens in the next, year and a half of him, because his birthday is actually coming up.
Is
soon,
it?
Actually, yeah, it's actually in October.
I mean, who knows what happens in the World Cup? What performances he can have.
I mean, look, right now it looks like he's going to be the starter, a starter in this World Cup team, just the way he's been playing and the way probably Mexican media has been producing his name portraying him. Yeah, thank you. Portraying him so much. I feel like he's definitely going to be a starter going into it. I'm curious to see what happens in the next international break for sure. to see how he's going to line
Because
up.
he is finally supposed to be with the team. I mean, obviously, we had the Gold Cup, but then U20 is stopping him from being with for the friendlies and anything. But in November, do you guys not think that like should he follow the Edson Alvarez path and just go with an Ajax?
Or
And stay in the
Lozano,
Eredivisie
yeah.
for a year or two? Yeah, Lozano, go that way and then grow into a bigger role? Or does it make more sense to go to a Real Madrid or Barcelona, maybe get a loan somewhere for a little bit?
I think like the big name transfer would hope for like publicity for Mexico, but I don't think for him individually that would benefit him to develop personally.
Yeah.
Anything's better than, let's be real though, anything's better than the MLS. I feel like it would just be a massive step backwards, especially with a town like this. I mean, like realistically, if you want to compare it to past, players that have had this high caliber of a level or this much hype behind it, I would say Carlos Vela and Giovanni Dos Santos easily. In the most recent time, obviously, they obviously played different positions entirely. I mean, Giovanni, you could argue, was a cam at a certain point. But yeah, I think it's just at this level, I think you got to look at the past players and maybe follow in their footsteps possibly. But I also think maybe he should just branch out and do his own thing. You know what I mean? Because this hype has not been around a Mexican player in a long time. And you also don't want to go to a big club like Carlos Vela found out, went to Arsenal, got dropped, you hardly ever saw him again. And then he went to, why am
Sociedad.
I blanking? Real Sociedad. And then so maybe something like that. And like Giovanni and Jonathan, both Barcelona Academy products. And then got dropped, and then respectively went to different places. So yeah, he's got to be careful here. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get pulled away just by names. You know what I mean? But I'm sure, hoping his parents are involved in this situation in terms of being supportive, helping him out, and then also his agent. I think is going to be a massive factor into this, and hopefully he's not just going after the money like all agents do.
Right?
It's the
go Saudi League.
Oh my god.
Imagine the scenes, bro.
Mora has made a transfer to Al Hilal, bro. Like, come on,
my god, that'd be brutal.
It's not even like that far of the realm of possibility in this day and age of the footballing game.
Hey, the money talks, unfortunately, but I'd understand it. But the money, he's so young, he could play in Saudi for like 3 years, be set for life, and then go somewhere actually. And
he's going to be set for life anyway. But you're right with the whole. I'm very worried that he's going to follow in the Mexican, superstars. Footprints like that has been the case with too many Mexican players of late. Like all the names we talk about. Carlos Vela, we know he was great at Sociedad, right? Ended up being great in MLS, and overall you would say his career was a success. But at one point it was looking very poor with his Arsenal move. That was the bad move. The Dos Santos brothers, maybe Barca was the wrong move, even though they had roles to play at Barca at the time. Maybe that was, a big factor why they ended up not being as good as they are. And you talk about Diego Lainez and things like that. You're right in the way that he has the most suitors here. I mean, almost every single club in the world, given the opportunity, would say, yes, let's sign him right now, right? That does not happen with Mexican players. And I hope he's still taking that with a bit of humility and is able to move to a smaller team. I would like to see a Bundesliga team or an Eredivisie team. I mean, that is just where they know how to develop their players. I wouldn't mind a Dortmund, right? They're a leading candidate in this race. And if you're looking at it from a developmental sense, I really hope that they're leading that race overall and are not really competing with Real Madrid and City and whatnot. Can we all agree, though, that the one league I think we don't want him to move to would be the Premier League right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would just be a waste of a talent, honestly. I feel like
Manchester United League.
Well, if you're a youngster, just stay away from the Premier League. You know what I mean? Like, just don't. I feel like the Premier League.
Unless you're born and bred in England, like around thereabouts.
If you understand Brexit, you know what I mean? Like if you're like a true Brexit man,
if you eat fish and chips.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like the Premier League is such a hard league to develop in, truly, because I feel like just the way the English are is that you have to hit the ground running, like you have to, or it's just a waste of a product.
Or that's it.
And that's it, which is extremely unrealistic. Bundesliga, they're willing to take the time on players. Same thing with Eredivisie. Obviously that's kind of like their staple is we develop players. Every team in Eredivisie does. So I don't know. It's just definitely just avoid. We got 3: Saudi, Premier League, and MLS. We got those 3, and watch him pick one of those 3.
He's going to.
Oh,
he's going to.
I'm gonna be tragic seeing the Fabrizio tweet when it comes. Here we go.
City.
It's the fucking Arsenal or City, some bullshit like that. That's just West
Yeah.
Ham, and I wouldn't mind that. But
Of course. We're talking a little more realistic things here. A little more realistic things.
Hey. With Nuno, anything's possible, baby. That's all I'm
Well,
saying. That's all I'm saying.
I-
Anyways, back
he-
to the topic at hand. We don't need to talk about West Ham any further.
the style of player that Mora is, I think honestly would fit City very well. Absolutely very well. But when he's like 24, 25, like by that point, like is that where he should be going when he starts his career in Europe? No. It's too much of a test. It's too much of expectation. And that's given that he will play, right? Let's say he goes over there and just isn't given the opportunity at all by whoever's after Pep, right? It doesn't make sense, which is why I would much rather a developmental specific league almost. Get him game time with a team in the Bundesliga and the Eredivisie, in the Belgian league. I don't know who that gets European competitions and good domestic challenges, because he's a great player. He's destined to be one of the best in Mexican history right now. But how many players have we talked about that in that way? And I don't want to see that go to waste. So I would, I don't think a Real Madrid or a Barcelona will be even a good move right now. Barcelona maybe, but they always have somebody who's next up, right? These teams always have somebody next up. I don't think there's a point in giving more a one chance than failure, which would be the case at Barcelona. Let's say he goes to Barcelona, gets game time, doesn't have a great first season, boom, the next youngster comes in from La Masia.
These big clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, they have players lined up for years to come. Like in their academy, they're just chilling.
They don't care about you.
You'll never hear these players ever, but the coaches are keeping track of these players entirely, watching them develop, and they have a specific developmental plan for each of these players. And they're like, okay, he doesn't work out. All right, cool. We'll call it the 17-year-old from our U17 squad or U18 squad.
Right.
And it'll be like, what the hell? But like, that's how it works, unfortunately, with these teams.
That's how it works.
That's why
you
always see.
Even if they don't have a youth player, they'll just buy someone else.
Yeah.
They'll just buy the next wonder kid. Things like that. You go where you're gonna matter. Directly to Mora if he's watching this. Go to where you're gonna matter. There's no point going to one of these Giants. Genuinely though, because what's gonna happen? You go there, like I said, you have a bad season. They drop you. That's a whole season of your career just wasted. Where you could have spent it at somewhere where you're going to get game time. I mean, look at Huescas, right? And rest in peace, Huescas, because he just got hurt and he's going to miss the World Cup. But he's sorry. I know. But he's had a great path so far, right? Left Liga MX, went to the Danish league, which nobody from Mexico in particular really makes the jump to, completely foreign area, to a team like Copenhagen, who are known to set up players very well for the future, playing well in Denmark, playing well in Europe, and unfortunately, before the injury, was destined to move to a much bigger team come maybe even the end of the season. That's what you should do. You don't need to prove yourself at the top already. Work your way there. That's the best way. The best way to do it. Because, like I said, we've seen it so many times. Diego Lainez is always that one player on every single video regarding a Mexican wonder kid.
You just call him out every single time.
As a Betis fan, I feel like I have to. It's just like you can't make stupid decisions, which is the bread and butter of Mexican wonder kids, is making the wrong decision.
I think it might be up to the club to, like, the transfer fee. The higher clubs are going to be able to afford that and offer more. So it's up to them. And then
I'm waiting for the contract extension that that Montiel just got. That Marcel Ruiz, these players that we just signed one with Xolos, but don't worry. There's a clause. There's a European clause. But for Mora, it's going to be like $80 million. And he's going to be stuck there and might just have to move to MLS because it's close.
That ridiculous release clause getting the AFC career mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that. That player's only worth like $10 million. It's like a $90 million release clause. It's it makes sense.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bro. No one's paying for that. Yeah. But, I mean, again, it's all about the right decision, right? I think Mexico is very rich right now when it comes to youngsters that want to move abroad, especially in that midfield, man. And Moore has to be the one to set the standard for the rest of them. He has to be the one to make the right move and to become that world-class player that Mexico hasn't had in a long time. Moore has all the ability to become that as long as he makes the right decision. Be fantastic. But yeah, again, we have a lot more time to watch more. He's only, 16? 17?
Yeah.
16, right?
17.
Exactly. He has. I'm just keeping track of that age. We
Oh
have
no,
a
sorry.
lot of time.
It's literally October 14th. All right, it's in
Oh,
7 days.
okay.
It's not weird.
Right.
It was during my research. I was looking
Well,
up stats, and his birthday was right there. I swear.
right.
Look, I don't know if you can see. Look, his age is right there. If you just type his name in, I swear, I'm not a weirdo. Just denying all
Well,
allegations.
that remains to be seen. We
Oh
have a
my
More if you're watching this.
more. Go play in Southern California more. So we got a lot of time to talk
Go
about
play for
more.
LAFC.
He's got a whole nother year before he has to make this decision, and maybe even beyond that. So yeah, make sure to let us know in the comments down below where you think Gilberto Mora should be going to once he makes the move to Europe. Other than that, though, please leave a like on the video if you guys want more Mexican content from us. My name is Elijah, joined by Joaquin and Andres. We are Getting Football, and hopefully see you guys in future videos. Take care.
Peace.